All right. Hi, guys. Welcome to the third episode of DevMa Dots. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to engage with a developer community. And our guest speaker for today is Santosh Yadav. Please introduce yourself.
Hey Sophia, hi. Thanks for the invite. Really excited to talk to you. And it's like one of the a great topic I would say because that's what we have been doing as part of this is learning for years. And yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome. Yes, I can hear you. Just to confirm, I hope you can hear me very well.
I can.
Awesome. Okay. So, yeah, can you hear me well?
Yes, I can. I mean, looks like there might be some delay or something, but I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So, can you um, talk about your journey a bit? How did you get started? What was your experience with community building the, and the likes?
Yeah, I mean, sure. So, I mean, just to introduce myself here, I'm Santosh here. I work as a senior software engineer at a company called Celonis, and yeah, it's been close to 2 years I've been working with Celonis now, and I'm also one of the Google developer expert and one of the GitHub stars, and part of the another program called NX Champions. That's and then of course I try to contribute to open source, uh, run the community which we have called This is Learning. To like tell you like how I started. So it's been 5 years now. Like I started getting involved in the community. It's not like something which I started very early in my career. So I had no idea, like of course, what this open source stuff is, what the communities are. So I started my career way back in 2008. So I've been a developer for close to 15, 16 years, and I was working like my full time job and like in an organization, and I was really happy unless I realized like, okay, I'm just using everything for free because I was a .NET developer for a long time, and .NET was not open source at that time. So of course, once so you are not like aware of things right outside of your bubble, and that was the same. So I was like, okay, I'm happy with .NET stuff. I don't have to get involved with anything else. Of course, I used to consume resources, mostly reading blogs related to C Sharp, of course, because I was mostly into C Sharp. So, and then around 2016, I started doing Angular. So a little bit like my first, I would say my first entry into something which is open source. Of course, I use JavaScript, but I was not aware of how things work or what is open source and like what is closed source, those things. And then 2017, I realized, okay, I was doing teaching. I was teaching Angular. And then I realized, okay, now I was at that time I was a little bit aware of what open source means and like people contributing to the code base and everything. And I thought like, oh, why not me? Because I've been doing Angular for some time, and then I want to contribute back because I thought like, okay, now I have made like good money. I have made a good career out of it. So I thought of like going ahead and contributing. But the thing is, how, right? So everyone likes to start doing something but they don't have idea, and that was the same with me. So I it was like around 2019, uh, and then I went to a conference, and then I met like some of the Angular team. I think that there was only one person from Angular team, but there were other people from the community who were there. And so sorry, you were disconnected for some time. uh,
Sorry. Yeah,
yeah,
my network is giving me a little issue. Let me just reload and join back.
yeah, sure.
Awesome. And can you hear me well now?
Yes, I can. I can.
You were sharing, your experience with community. So,
Yeah, I lost you again.
hello?
Yes, I think I lost you again for some seconds.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Community has been like a safe space for me because when I thanks to the community in my university, it gave me the platform to learn a lot. It gave me the platform to um diversify, to move from front end to back end, space to talk about tech stuff or joke around in the tech space. Your experience, in building communities, from your experience in community management, you advise or how would you suggest that someone would scratch?
Uh, as I was saying, like I started around 2019 to get involved in the community. So the first thing is, of course, the goal should not be like running your own community or starting your own community, right? Because there are so many communities around you, which like you can become part of it, learn from them, and that's what we did. Like me and my co-founder last, so we were part of another community. That's where we joined, and we were like writing blogs, and we got a little bit idea, right? So how these things work, like how you can approach people, how you can build the community. So when we decided like to have our own thing, I mean, because like the community which we were part of was taking another approach. I mean, we were not like very fully supportive of it, so we decided to call it quit. And then we started our own. So my co-founder last, he started this is learning, and I went in another direction. I started my own podcast because that's what I wanted to do. So after doing all this open source and doing this writing and everything, doing some talks, and things went virtual, right? So early 2020 when everything was stopped, like almost everyone was at home and couldn't travel. So I thought like, what? How should I still be active in the community? How should I make sure that people still know me, yeah, or remember me? So I started doing this podcast, which was called Tech Talks with Santosh, uh, and then I did it for a year, and then I realized like I was doing it alone. I mean, I was the only host. I was running it like I was running 4 episodes in a month, so it's like every week one episode, and it was getting exhausting. So of course there was a time I reached a stage, I reached burnout, and then I was like, okay, now it will not scale. If I continue doing this, probably I'll call it quit, which I don't want to. So I decided to take another approach. I said, okay, let's speak to Lars because he has been running this. This is learning. And I said, hey, why don't we merge my podcast and I become part of this is learning, and we do something. So the idea was just to join like and move the podcast there. But Lars said, why not you join as co-founder, and then you we decide like what needs to be done. So that's how it worked for me. I mean, of course, it can work in a different ways for everyone, but if you are new to the community, I mean, it should not directly jump and start your own community. But the first thing you should focus on is learning from the people who are already doing it and see like what you want to do, right? What's your vision of having a community? What you want, something which does not exist in in this community, right? And then take those ideas and like start approaching people. That's how it worked for us at This Is Learning. We started like very small. We started approaching the people we knew. We started approaching people on the internet. Like we used to read blogs on dev.to, for example, for our for onboarding writers, right? So we used to approach them, hey, we really liked your blog. Would you like to like join us um, as a writer? And then it worked out. I mean, if you approach people nicely, of course, people will be like really appreciative of it. Same for our podcast. I mean, we have been doing it since 3 years. I mean, we have almost close to 50 episodes now, and we followed the same approach. So it's not like we want people to come to us and say, hey, I want to be on your show. I mean, we started approaching people we knew in the community. So we still do that. I mean, most of the guests which we invite, like it's we approach them, we see like what who are the people who would be like have an interesting topic to talk about, and then invite them on to the podcast. So that's how it worked for us. Probably if you can get some ideas, take some ideas, and then probably go ahead and do your own.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I agree with you. For anyone that really wants to, get started in community management or to build a community, being part of a community should give you some ideas on how you can actually grow yours or how you can actually improve yours. Because before I became the GDSC lead in my school, I was already part of the GDSC community, so I already had the skills to communicate with the community members, to talk with them, to really understand their needs, their pain points, and that was how I was really able to grow mine. So thank you for that. So in community building, yeah, what sort of content do you think resonates well with a community?
It totally depends like what kind of community you're planning to build. Like let's say our focus is mostly on open source and open learning. So we try to create because we know like the people who are part of our community, they are probably mostly Angular developers and front end developers, and now we have getting started getting back end developers as well. So most of our content is actually written by our writers. So it's like blog post. We don't do much videos. Like it's like our own personal YouTube channel. For example, Lars has its own his own channel, and I have my own channel. But apart from that, we do this podcast, which is common. So we do this as part of our community. But yeah, I mean, blogs have been like forefront of our community, and then we have some courses. So we decided, okay, why not to like put some courses there, like which is on GitHub basically, where people can contribute and people can also read from there. So we have some open, what you can say, open learning courses around Angular and some. I think there is an on an NGRX as well, which is not updated for some quite some time, but we do still do have it. And uh, the thing is, of course, if I'm doing my own, I mean, I'd also like to do some live streams. So that's something which I've been doing since 2020. And apart from those, like I just do some, yeah, I mean, sometime if I get time, I still do live streams, but you cannot do everything, right? So yeah, Pratish.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. So in term, okay, you have made mention of the content. So what sort of activities do you think can help improve the developer community, especially when the person is just starting out, like in the community, they are less than 20. So what sorts of activities or engagement do you think would really help improve or build that community?
So for example, like let's say if you're starting a new community and then you have people who are really new to the community, right? So try to encourage them. If you have experience writing blog posts, like try to schedule some calls, like open office hours, or office hours, whatever you call, and then see like if people who if there are people who wants to actually start writing and create content, guide them how they can get started, review them. Like of course that's one good way to give a good feedback and make sure like people are learning, right? Of course, that's the whole agenda, right? So if you have a community, I mean, if people are not learning, I mean, that's not useful to anyone. So see their interest. For example, at this is learning, we started this podcast, so we approached people like, hey, if there is anyone who wants to co-host. So one of my friend Jay, he said, yeah, sure. So he's one of the host for our podcast. So we started getting involving people in different ways. For example, when we started doing this, planning this conference which we are doing on May 16th and 17th. So of course the idea was not to do it alone. So we started asking people if there are any people who are interested, and we of course like got some good response. And then there are a few people who said, yeah, yes, we want to do it because they also want to learn. So and then when I realized, like, of course there are so many things to do. If I like started doing it alone, I would have never done it. Like, of course, then that conference will never happen. So I just approached the people, right people, saw them that they are interested, and it works. So and then of course having sync up with them. So see the like check the interest of the people and see like how you can personally help them. So try to like check with them every week or every month whenever you get time, and see their interest and how if they need help in any of the areas, and like take suggestions. Let's say there are people who may have good suggestion how to improve, or how or what else you can do as part of the community to increase your visibility. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree because being an active listener can really help you, create a more safe and a more inclusive community. Because when everyone in your community feels heard, they feel like their voice matters, their opinions matter. It's really it has a huge way, or it goes a long way to make it safe and to make everyone, like feel seen, and it also helps the community members advocate for the community outside of that as well. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, so in your experience here, what are some common, well, not really common, but what are some mistakes that you've made and that you would love to, you know um advise the audience to avoid?
Mistakes. Interesting. So I mean, identifying the right community for you, that's very important. I've been part of community. I mean, I tried to be part of community, I would say, which was not good for my mental health. So yeah, there are people. I mean, if you're getting involved into any community, like ask people around, like how those people are, because not everyone has good intention. Not everyone wants to actually build an inclusive community. Some people just want or do it because they want all the focus to themselves. They really don't care about community. They probably are running business. So I mean, that's one of the mistake which I have made. I learned it hard way, bit in hard way, but glad I did. So I know people, right? I mean, I know people like what kind of people you should be, you should stay away from. So yeah, I mean, do your research. I would say, in case you're looking forward to join some community or you're already part of some community, do your research well.
Awesome. And yes, you are right. I mean, I've come across some community that was not really focused on the members or to really educate them. So it's more like the person needed something to show, either online, that, hey, I'm part of this community, or I actually lead or manage this community. So we have a question from the audience. Prayosh asked, when a newbie joins any tech community, either on Slack or Discord, how should they navigate there and interact with the members and contribute?
I mean, the good way is actually the first thing is, of course, you remember that you should not be spamming. I mean, if you're joining a community, please be aware that okay, everyone who is there have their own personal life. So there are some etiquettes which you should follow. For example, on Discord, like some people join and then they start using everyone, hey, hi, and then spamming all the channels. Of course, that's not a good way to start with. Chances are probably you will be kicked out sooner or later. Uh, so be respectful. Be respectful when you join the community. The good way to start would be introduce yourself. Tell the community about your intention, like why you are there. Right. For example, let's say if you join TypeScript community, let them know that you are here to learn from everyone, right? I mean, there are uh, same like there are different communities for different products. For example, if I go to Playwright Cypress, they all run their own Discord channels or Slack channels. So be respectful, tell them your intention, and then get involved by probably going through the Q&As. For example, if there are any question answers, get involved, answer questions or ask questions. Again, if you're asking questions, just don't be too pushy. I mean, everyone is trying to help you in their time. So make sure like you are doing your research well before you ask anything. If let's say, for example, let's say if you join some communities for writers or for content creators, it goes the same way, right? So there, people are mostly interested in getting feedbacks. So let's say if you join a writers community, make sure that you are being valuable by giving them good feedbacks or sharing what you know. Like let's say if you read something which someone wrote, then give them honest feedback, like how you liked it. And of course, that those kinds of feedbacks are like very important to a lot of people, and probably you will earn your reputation as well.
True, you are so right. Plus, another thing is, something that I try to do when I join a community is, if it's a community that is focused on a particular tool or a particular technology, I try to also share resources relating to that. Like if I'm in a Python community and I come across an article that talks about PyTest, and I see that it's an article that is really, really interesting and really useful, I try to share that within the community, because especially in a Discord community, there are different channels for different things. So understanding what each of the channels um, uh, is used for, and understanding where to share the resources, where to ask questions, where to also share memes, because we are all humans and we want to laugh once in a while, can really help you. Can really help you interact with the community, be part of it, and to contribute there as well. And yes, someone said that reading the room would also help. Yes, trying before you contribute, I would advise that you should try to understand the community first, so that you don't say something that would offend someone, or you don't just come talking about something that is way off from the community discussion. So
Observe the community, like how they engage. So that will be a great addition.
yes, yeah, yeah. All right. So how would you encourage contribution and participation from a community, sorry, from a developer community?
uh, as I said, like, so you have to be really proactive, I would say. I mean, because there are people who have good knowledge, but they are really scared to like start writing or probably start sharing their knowledge. So be supportive. I mean, let's say if someone is writing their first blog post, I mean, I remember my first blog, that was horrible. So of course, like I'm thankful to the reviewers who like agreed to review my first blog, and they were really patient. So they were like, why this guy is like writing? So Lars was actually one of the early people. I mean, I think Sophia lost the internet connection again, but yeah, I'll continue. So Lars, my co-founder, was the first person who actually reviewed my blog post. And when we became good friends, he was like, when I was doing review for your first blog, I was like, who's this guy? Why he's not ready to understand our feedback? Because they kept giving me good feedbacks, but of course that was the first time I was writing it, right? So he was like, he said, I was really frustrated with you. And then, but you like showed the intent, right? I mean, the good thing was like, I was showing intent that, yeah, I want to make it better. And then it worked for us. And then, of course, I published my first blog. So this is the same thing which you should do with other people, right? I mean, if you really care about them, like if you really care as an let's say community person, that you want new people to come into community and share their learning. Don't lose patience. I mean, everyone starts somewhere, and that's how you can actually earn the respect as well, right? The respect have to be earned. It's not like something, oh, this guy is a GitHub star and I should respect him. No, it never works. So do that. Show them the intent that you are there to help them. For example, let's say still I mean I don't have that much time, but generally if I have time, I try to ask people if they need some help with the reviews, like reading their blog which they wrote, and it helps like me to connect with them, and they also realize that okay, the contributions which they are making is being valued, and invite them. Like for example, when we started doing this conference, right, we also invited other people to from the community to like apply for talks, even they might have never spoken. I said, look, we are doing it for first time, we are doing it as part of community, so you should apply here, right? And that's the same thing which we did with our podcast. So we started inviting people who were really active in the community, but they lack visibility, right? So we started approaching them as like, okay, you have written this blog, why not you come on our podcast and we talk about it. It also helped them improve, like, so speaking in public and writing are two different things. Yeah, I think everyone knows that uh, you can just like lock yourself in a room and then write maybe 100-page book, but speaking in front of 10 people may be horrible feeling, right? I mean, I remember my first time, so I know I probably, yeah, you can understand, Sophia. So that's a different feeling. And then when you encourage people to do that and they are able to actually fight their fear and then do this something great, so it also connects, or I would say builds a good reputation within the community as well, because those are the people who are going to go outside and talk about you, that okay, I did this because of this and this community, or this is or this community person. So really matters.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with that. And another thing is, try to, how would I put this? Um, contribute, or rather, make the community members feel seen the way that you want to be seen, or rather, interact with them the way that you want to interact. Try to, encourage them to share their articles if they are really into technical writing, or share their projects. Try to give reviews, and that will really go a long way in encouraging, participation and contribution. Because if you start a community and you as the lead, or you as the person that is managing it, start giving out reviews on projects, on articles, on videos from the community members, other members too would have the opportunity, or they would be pushed to also give their reviews and feedbacks as well. So thank you for that. All right, I have another question. So, from your experience, how do you foster diversity and inclusivity within your developer community?
I think that's one of the most difficult things to do, right? I mean, it can go wrong if you know, like, because if you see most of the communities, they mostly focus on all this diversity and inclusive, but they really don't. Probably most of them don't care about it. They just want to show the world that they really care. So at uh, even at this is learning, right? We don't like close it for anyone, so everyone is welcome to write. For example, we don't even censor anything. For example, let's say if you have some negative things to talk about at probably a blog or some, or probably a product or technology, you feel free to do that, because we have seen in past the communities, there are communities who like try to block you from doing that. So let's say if I'm talking about something bad about, let's say, Angular, there are communities who might say, "Oh, hey, we are mostly Angular focused, so don't write anything bad about Angular." But that's not a good thing, right? I mean, that's not inclusive for everyone. So probably someone may feel, say, not good, because of course they wanted to write something from their point of view, and then you're asking them not to do that. And about I mean, if you see, the same goes to diversity, right? I mean, you have to make sure that you are involving good people into the community who like talk about you, or not. But yeah, I mean, the people who have good reputation in the community. So you have to be really careful in these terms. I mean, I would say, I mean, if I look at this is learning and this is Angular, we have like people from all across the world writing blogs and sharing their knowledge. So we don't stop anyone from doing anything. So of course we do review. I mean, in case there are writers who tell us upfront that okay, they are going to write about this, and they just ask us to review it, and we are really happy to do that, and just let them do whatever they want. So we like don't like try to leave anyone behind, and it's not like we just want anyone who is experienced. So this community is open for anyone, even if you are just a new learner. um, our main Discord, like the contributors Discord, is closed, of course, but we have an open Discord as well for everyone who wants to just probably share something, share their knowledge. But if anyone has uh, like wants to write for the community, or who wants to contribute to the community, we have a closed Discord as well, so people can. It's not like you cannot join. You just need to like approach us. You just need to send us a message, and then we can onboard you into the community. That was an intentional call, because of course we don't want our contributors to be bothered by all the spams. I mean, you can be a great person, but you never know like the intent of people on the internet. So anyone can join and then start spamming. We don't want it to do that. So that's why this all Discord server is closed, but the community one is open for everyone. And we started approaching people, as I said, like we wanted to make sure that we have a diverse network of contributors. So of course the people that we already knew, we started approaching them. I also like uh, read blogs, and then whenever I have time. For example, last year my focus was more on onboarding new writers. So I used to actually go to dev.to track, or let's say if someone is writing their own blog, just read it. If there are anyone who is just started writing, just ask them if they are like they're interested to join the community, so they can like learn from the other writers as well. And it works. It works when you approach people, because they want to make sure that their content is visible on the internet as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you are right. So, you made mention of spamming in a community, and I know that I have also faced this challenge trying to um reduce the spam links, especially in Discord servers. So, how have you been able to overcome that, or how have you been able to tackle that issue? Where you have new community members and they just keep spamming or keep dropping server links to other communities servers that we know already do with
Sorry, I
yeah,
lost you.
can you hear me?
I can hear you now, so I
Oh,
lost you for some time. Sorry.
all right, yes, sorry about that. I asked, how do you overcome the challenges of when you are still, building out your developer community and you have more community members, and when they join, they share links, like they start spamming the community of links of Discord servers or things that are not really related to the purpose of that community.
I mean, that's one of the reason, right? So we have our contributors, Discord has closed for like only contributors. So if someone is interested to join as a contributor, then only we allow them there to avoid this spam. But let's say we also have the public one, right? So it really depends upon what kind of content you are sharing. Of course, it's as you mentioned, right? I mean, people uh, are welcome to post the blogs or the any interesting topic they learn about. That's okay. But let's say if we receive some spam links, of course we don't tolerate this. I mean, we ban users from the Discord instantly.
Yeah, sorry, I lost you. I didn't get the last few words you said.
I said, like, in case someone is spamming, we instantly block them. We don't tolerate anything like spamming others, so we block them. But like I've been some part of some communities where even they didn't allow us to post, let's say, your own blog or like something which you learned interesting from the internet. I mean, of course, those are not communities, right? Those are like the personal branding. So I'd be really careful with those communities where I'm not allowed to even share if I learned something interesting or if I have written something of my own. Then it's not worth it. So I would keep my distance from them. But if I'm running my own community, people are welcome to post something which they wrote or something which they read, which is interesting with everyone.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Right. So, in a community with so many people from so many backgrounds, from so many tech backgrounds, from so many culture, how would you advise that someone starts out in building a community, developer focused community, handle conflicts or disagreements?
If there are like disagreements on some topic, I mean, it's absolutely fine, right? I mean, that should happen. I mean, but of course, there should be a limit, like how the people are actually discussing about it. I mean, be respectful whenever you are having those discussions, because if it goes other way, I would say, I mean, having a call or discussion with them, try to like try to become basically a middleman and see like if you can reach to an agreement with both of them and settle it down. Otherwise, I don't think so. Just ask them like if like they're maybe if their behavior is hampering other people in the community. I mean, blocking them is the or just removing them from the community is good way to go ahead. It doesn't matter like who the person is, but if they're being or they're being toxic, I mean, that should not be something which you should tolerate. Uh, because just they are like someone who is very famous in the community or someone who is like very recognizable in the community. But I think if they are being toxic, I mean, just try to be a middleman for some time and see like if they come to an agreement. Otherwise, just say bye and move on. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that because having such an energy in your developer community would feel like you are trying to play favoritism, and everyone would be like, that you favor this person, and it sort of cause a divide within the community. So yeah, okay. Um, Now, can you share your experience promoting a developer community? Let's say you've already built the community, you already have few community members, but you want it to grow further. So, what are some ways that you would advise someone to promote their community?
Yeah, I mean, so that's what we did, right? So when I joined This is Learning. So before I joined, but there was only one way. Like we had our uh, blog post. Sorry, we had our publication on Dev.2. So we had This is Learning and This is Angular, which of course had a good reach. But we wanted to explore. Like when I joined, I gave last. We had a discussion with class. Okay, let's explore more things, how we can reach out to the developers, right? So that's why we started our blog. Sorry, we started our podcast. So we started doing This is Learning, and of course, and then we said, okay, what else? What else we can do to reach out to the developers? So we started doing our own newsletters. So we do like twice in a month our newsletters, and then we said, okay. what else? How like how to increase the visibility which we have. So there was a time we used to post all the blogs, like which is written on our publication on Twitter. So we like used to tweet on Twitter feed, but of course that we had to stop it because Musk has been really crazy about how you use Twitter. So he stopped all the free access to the APIs, and then he said, "Okay, no way we are going to pay anything or any money to Twitter." And then we stopped doing that. But of course, we still have a good visibility that helps us. If you like, so our blogs have more than, I think, more than 1 million views now. And what else? What else we did? And we are doing this conference now, right? So to increase more visibility. And the good thing is people know about this is learning, and probably this is Angular, but they don't know the faces behind it. So I still get a question. Okay, so you are the one who is the founder of This Is Learning? I'm like, yes, I do. And then they clearly don't know. So it's a good thing, I would say, because of course people should know about the community, not the people behind them. And that really worked out for them. Me and Lars, we never speak, or we don't try to show to the people that we are the one who is running this community. Because we generally, we literally don't, right? I mean, the people, or the people who are part of the community are actually the true faces, who are actually talking about you and sharing about the community. So I would say this is a great thing. I think of course, I'm like really proud of doing this. That okay, people know this is learning, this is Angular, but they don't know me. I mean, that's the best feeling I can have. That okay, we are doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, you are so right. I mean, people should know the community, not the person managing the community. So we have a question from the audience. Trust asks, what is the best place for an online developer community to live? Slack, Discord, Telegram.
Say totally depends like what kind of community you want to build, because there are some communities where people are mostly using Telegram, so they use Telegram. Slack, I would say no. I mean, it's not good for any communities. I mean, there are like very limited messages, and after that all the messages are deleted. If you really care about the history, just go ahead and use Discord for free. Discord is good. It's like available everywhere. Like, I mean, people from any countries can join. But if you have those limitations, I mean, I have seen like pretty good communities on Telegram as well. I'm not big fan of WhatsApp communities. I mean, but uh, yeah, I mean, totally depends if where your communities or the people who are part of the communities are active. If they are using Telegram, reach out or create a Telegram group. If they are active on Facebook, I mean, that's not a bad thing, right? I mean, I have seen Facebook groups having like tons of thousands, tens and thousands of users. So if your people are active on Facebook, be there. But yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I mean, I prefer using Discord. I'm not big fan of this all those everyone and like everyone tag. I mean, I just get annoyed by people who do that. But every what do you say? Every channel you have some disadvantages, I would say. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you are right. I mean, the location of your community, depends on what the community is really all about. Because I've seen some Slack community thrive, I've seen some Discord community thrive, and I've seen some Telegram community thrive. But having a WhatsApp community, that has been, for me though, like personal opinion, personal preference. I really don't do well with WhatsApp communities because I feel like it's sort of a distraction. So you made mention of Discord community. Now, for someone that is just getting started in building a developer community on Discord, and we know that Discord is not like every social app that people are there 24/7. How would you advise that the person improve the participation or encourage the participation within that community?
think one good thing is Discord has a lot of automations. So let's say you can have an automation when someone joins, you can share some links with them, like how they can participate or how they can get involved with the people. We welcome them, so they feel like yeah, I mean they are welcome to join this community. And in case you are having some discussion, I mean, as I said, like you can also have office hours, or you can have like a lot of communities do this. They have their what you can say, the co-working thing, right? So you can actually just start the channel. That's a good thing about Discord, like building real good connections. So you can start a new channel and then probably hear some music, do some co-working together, and yeah, you can hang out. uh, that's a good thing about Discord. But Slack, the channels, like of course you cannot do such things there, right?
True, true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. I mean, having a community on Discord gives you this privilege for you to have the open office hours within the community instead of you to pull your community members to an external place, and you can have all the conversation, the meetups, everything in one particular place. Okay. So, from your experience, how do you measure the impact of a developer community?
The impact would be how people see you, like as a community. As I said, like for example, people know about this is learning, but they really admire that, okay, this is learning and this is Angular. Those communities are doing great work. But uh, and that's what really matters. When you hear people talking good thing about the communities, I don't think so anything else can give you more satisfaction than that.
Oh, sure. You're right. I mean, uh, yes, you are right in the sense that once you have a developer community where the members can advocate for your community, you sort of see that it's already becoming successful, because a community should be a safe space where everyone gets to come, they learn from each other, they interact with each other, they make friends, they network, they build together. And there's something that someone once told me that has stuck with me for a while. Um, he said that a community is not a one man squad. It's like it's a place where everyone chip in to grow that community. So, in as much as you are the one that is building that community, you are the one that is managing that community, you should also um, encourage the members, letting them know that everyone's opinion matter, everyone's engagements matter, and it's a community for everyone, not just for you.
Okay.
Okay. So okay, I think I we've or rather I have asked all the questions I have. So you made mention of a conference that would be coming up soon. Can you give us a little bit more about that conference?
Yeah, sure. So this was an idea, like we wanted to do it last year. So we thought, like we have been running this community for long. Like we started in 2020, so it was close to 3 years. And I spoke to my co-founder Lars, and I said, "Hey, what about doing an conference?" And he was like, "Why not? Sure. So you go ahead and do that." Because of course, Lars was not available at that time. He was like between new job and everything. And this was planned last year basically, and then it never happened because I got like busy traveling. And then this year I said, okay, let's settle down, let's take some time off. I'm not traveling much this year, to be frank. And then I went through, like, when you like take this break, right, and then you realize, okay, what are the things you really wanted to do. And this has worked with me several times. Whenever I take break, I realize, like, okay, there are a few things which I wanted to do, and then I start doing that. And the same thing happened when I stopped traveling. I was like, okay, hey, I want to do this conference. And then I started approaching people that I want to do this virtual conference as part of this is learning community, as part of our community. And then people were really excited about it. So, of course, as I said, like there are more people, for example, Jerome, Ahmed, Manish, and then we have Tobiloba. I mean, I hope I pronounced his name correctly.
Yes, you
So
did.
every yeah, so everyone agrees, and then they are a great help. I'm sure I couldn't have done anything about them without them. Like they're doing most of the stuff. I mean, I was just like mostly a promotional guy probably. So I'm just promoting the conference everywhere and talking about okay and like approaching the speakers, approaching make sure that like the conference is really well taken care, like or there are more involvement from everyone. And as you said, like making it diverse and uh, that was the whole idea. So it should be not only people who have experience speaking. So we asked like first time speakers to apply as well, and we really want to like encourage people, and that was the whole idea. So we still have the CFP open. I think we got around 100 talks, and we're scared because of course we cannot accept every talk. We have limited time, but we will of course think about like what to do with other talks. We'll make sure like we do something, maybe another conference in future, and then we invite all the speakers who are left out. But it's hard. I mean, it's hard when you see like so many people applying, and then you have to just select few because you don't have that much time. So uh, uh, more speakers will be announced soon. We want to close up everything about around the end of April. So we get 15 days to like schedule everything, all the live streams and everything. But you can go ahead and register yourself, tlconf.netlify.app. The CFP is still open, so we have 10 days more. It will close on 20th of April. Till the time you can submit a talk in case you're interested. In case you're a first time speaker, I would recommend submitting the CFP and probably send me a message wherever you can find me. I mean, if you're on Twitter, I'm on Twitter and I'm also on LinkedIn. Just send me a message and we can like make sure that your talk is selected in case, as I said, like we really want to encourage first time speakers as well. And this will be like 2 days conference, so we are trying to like have it cover multiple time zone. That was the whole idea, so more people can join. And let's see how it goes. I mean, I'm really scared and excited both.
Yeah, I am. I'm really excited for this event, and I think I have been, counting down the days to this conference. I think since a couple of weeks now. And so, if you are, a first-time speaker, you are trying to, be part of a community, or you learned about cloud, like you just learned what cloud is, or learned about the tool or a technology, I would really advise that you check out the websites, you submit a CFP, and you connect with Santos, and this would really be a great way for you to be part of a community, for you to contribute, for you to share what you learn, and yeah. So before we go, do you have um, any other thing that you would love to let us know besides this conference? Do you have any upcoming book, any upcoming course?
I would not say any upcoming courses anymore because I wanted to actually publish a course last year, but yeah, last year was like crazy, so I ended up traveling more, so I couldn't do that. But I'll keep you posted. I mean, in case you're interested about my work, you can just check it out, check it off, like connect with me on Twitter or LinkedIn, and I'll keep you posted like what I'm doing next. But right now, the only focus is on uh, the conference, and then I have like few conferences where I'll be traveling. I'll be in India as well this year, just traveling with the family. But if you are around Mumbai or Pune, just give me like ping me, and probably we can meet somewhere. Or if you're an organizer of a meetup in anywhere in India, just ping me. If possible, I can travel and probably we can have some meetups there as well. I was excited about traveling to, of course, Nigeria as well, but um, bummer. So
Yeah,
I'll
I
do that
mean,
next year.
I mean, next year you can definitely come for Oscar Fest. I mean, I was a bit sad when I found out that you could not come this year, but there's always the next year, there's always the next time. So, yeah. Okay. So, uh, do you have any last words for the audience any last tip to give them, especially for anyone that is just about to start building a community or that is trying to engage with a community that they already are in?
The only word would be like if you're joining any community, be useful. Like of course, try to make sure that you are being valuable to them. Don't try to be pushy. Be respectful to everyone, and remember, like your learning matters a lot. So if you think like this community is not something which you wanted, just like move on. Maybe you can join some other community or build your own. Really depends upon like what kind of experience you had or what you see in a community, right? And that start from there. So, but don't be scared. Don't be scared to take that first step. And all the best.
And thank you for that. So, thanks everyone for joining us on our third episode of DevMad Dots. And I hope that you've been able to learn a lot on, engaging with developer community, building one, and just being part of a developer community. So we host this podcast episode every 2 weeks, where we get to chat with um, people that have excelled in DevRel, in developer marketing, and community building and technical writing. So our next episode will be coming out in 2 weeks' time. And please do well to follow Santosh on Twitter. And you can engage with him. He's a really, really amazing guy, and he would be willing to help you out if you have any question that you want to ask. And you can also follow us too on Bcamp, and you can also subscribe to the channel. And yes, Kando, for the upcoming This is Learning conference, you can submit a CFP, and it's a virtual event, so you can definitely submit a CFP, and hopefully I get to see you talk at that. So you can also let us know who you want to see next on this podcast episode. So till then, bye. And thank you once again for taking out the time to share your experience with us.
Thank you again, Sophia. I mean, thanks for the invite. I mean, it was pleasure talking to you, and probably we'll see you soon.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Bye.